All right, YouTube, link in the description to an archived, of course, article by, I think it's Everyday Feminism, if I remember correctly, denying the existence of chromosomes. Now, let me tell you my thoughts on transgendered individuals first. I don't have a moral problem with them. I don't really care if somebody wants to take hormones and like, someone who's male, they have a cock. They get breasts and they have a sex change operation. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. I'm not religious in the sense that I would care morally about such things. I have a problem with it. That being said, though, it looks like the left now has decided that transgenderism isn't technically even real if you read into this article, because they're claiming that the concept of sex, not just gender as a social construct, which, gender roles can be social constructs. Gender itself, it's kind of a gray area. But biological sex is indeed biological. I'm going to assume that the person who wrote this article never studied biology. If you did, you would understand that there's a distinction between people based on their sex chromosomes. Of course, males have an X chromosome and a Y chromosome. Females have two X chromosomes, and then there are various chromosomal disorders. Someone has Turner's syndrome or something. Though under those circumstances, it doesn't really affect the sex that the individual is. Like, you have Turner syndrome. I think it's XO, if I remember correctly. Like, there's an X chromosome and no second chromosome at all. It causes infertility and certain other problems. But the person is still female. And so that's really the underlying scientific basis of sex. Okay, you can talk about gender all you want, but as far as sex goes, as far as how the body has developed on a physical level, based on its chromosomes, it's a well understood concept. It's part of genetics. That's pure science. So I guess the certain elements of, like, the third wave feminist left are now denying science. They're science deniers. That's funny, because they've spent years talking about how if people question anthropogenic climate change, that they're science deniers. This means that they're backwoods and toothless and rednecks and everything wrong with the world. They probably believe the world is 6,000 years old. And now you have people apparently on the other side, supposedly, of the political spectrum that are basically arguing the same nullification of all well understood standard science. I would think that the existence of sex, insofar as procreation and chromosomes and genitals and so forth goes, I would think that was more easily observed and well established than the concept of man-made climate change. I would think that it would be more of a no-brainer for people to accept, yes, indeed, there's an X chromosome, there's a Y chromosome. This causes two biological sexes to emerge. And then from there, of course, again, you do have various disorders, and that's what they are. So if a person wants to transgender themselves, if they, for instance, let's say someone is gay, bi, straight, whatever, I don't care. They want to transgender themselves in a physical sense, like surgery, I don't care. If they want to take hormones and then whether they do or do not get such surgery, I don't care. It doesn't affect me. It's their choice. On the libertarian basis, it's their fucking choice. I don't care what hormones they take. I don't care who they screw. But to deny that there is such a thing as a biological sex flies in the face of all established human biology. And that's apparently what's being done here. Oh, yeah, that's a construct too. Who fucking doesn't even mention chromosomes? Just ignore those kids. Don't bother to study biology. What is biology in our high schools going to get targeted by these people so that they don't learn about, so that kids don't learn about, like, chromosomes and so forth? Oh, the crossing over of this genetic material, and this is how meiosis operates, and that's mitosis, and here's the difference. And are you going to start ignoring that in favor of your weird utopian ideology of there's no difference between any two randomly selected individuals in the world? Because if you want somebody, if somebody, I'm not talking about transgendered here, if somebody wanted to completely transgender themselves, they would need to do so on the genetic level. They would need to overhaul their entire system. A male would have to somehow introduce into all of the cells in their body the second X chromosome and erase the Y chromosome, and do so without destroying themselves. I'm not sure that that's going to become possible. A female would have to introduce a Y chromosome seamlessly into their own genetic structure and get rid of the second X chromosome. Maybe in the future that'll be possible. It's certainly well within the realm of possibility under genetics today to forcefully choose the gender of an embryo. You could easily do that by playing around with the genetic material to choose whether a person would be born male or female. And that gets into a whole different ethical argument. An argument of, well, we can, but should we be doing this? Is this a great idea as far as the future of humanity, or is this a little bit spooky? I lean a little bit more towards the it's kind of spooky side. I don't know that it's really a moral problem so much as I think we might create a massive imbalance in humanity if we do that. Like, what if one culture is like really, really pro-male, and they all want sons, and then their population just fucking collapses? Or another's like, oh, well, we want just nothing but females, and you know, males are less important or something. Their population collapses. It can cause literal demographic problems in the world. As far as sex goes, though, apart from gender roles, which are not the same exactly as gender anyway, that is biology. You are born male or female. You may have a hormonal disruption, or mentally speaking, I grant this, that a person could feel entirely female and be locked in a body that has the Y chromosome, or a person could feel completely male but be in a body that's lacking a Y chromosome. That's true. I have no problem with that either. And if they want to take hormones, get sex change surgery, live their life as they want to live it, it's no fucking anyone's business but themselves. They're the only person who can choose that. They have to do what is best, what they feel, as a consenting adult, they have to do what is best for them, what works for them. And who would have a problem with that? But to claim that those chromosomes that are underlying that imbalance within their biology versus their mentality, something like that, to deny that those chromosomes actually exist in the first place, is insane. It's not true. It is completely and utterly false. Science has already established how this operates. It is well understood. It has been for a long time. It's fairly elementary. This is the sort of stuff that you begin learning in middle school, and by the end of high school, even if you've been in the most rudimentary biology course, hopefully you have a general grasp of the concept. Yes, indeed, this is how these sex chromosomes operate upon the human body. This is the result here. Here are some disorders where someone's chromosomes somewhere along the line got mutated, something improper happened, and it leads to the resulting problems that they may have in their life. But that being said, there are two biological sexes. That's all that there are. Genders, yeah, you can make up whatever gender roles you want. It's like, what's it called? Within certain Native American tribes. They had like the Berdache tradition, I believe it's called, where people who are biologically male would take up a woman's roles. They would wear women's clothes. They would marry a man. They would perform sexually with that man as their husband. And it wasn't considered a problem. Within their culture, they thought it was normal. In fact, they thought these people were given over to certain magical abilities and so forth. But that doesn't mean that their chromosomes were different. It doesn't mean that they lacked that Y chromosome that made them male. And then you have like XXY and a bunch of other stuff. And I don't believe that any fetus can be viable with just the Y chromosome, like the super male mode. You need the X chromosome to give you your full actual genetic makeup. So it all kind of springs from the mother. Mitochondrial DNA and all of the spooky stuff that goes on with that. And they think that mitochondrion were once a separate life form, just sort of like some of these other organelles that exist within the body. I think they determined that centromeres, or centrosomes rather, may have been at one time their own life form as well. And then you have all the, you have the nucleus and the nucleolus and all this other stuff, and the peroxisomes that I believe rid the cell of waste and so forth. And mitochondria are really important because if they're not in proper working order, your cell's not getting enough energy, you're just gonna fucking wither and die. But as far as the sex chromosomes go, that's a fairly easily, I mean, it would take you a week to learn all of the elementary stuff that there is with regards to gender and sex. If a person feels, mentally speaking, or spiritually speaking, whatever, if they feel that they are, for instance, they've got the chromosomal makeup is XY, they're male, but they feel female, they prefer female roles, they're attracted to males in that way, and otherwise would be labeled as gay, I suppose. They want to wear women's clothes and do womanly things. They're not interested in typical male stuff, so-called, and that is honestly a cultural construct. Then who fucking cares? But to deny that their chromosomes actually exist is madness. Because they do. They're there. They're physically there. We can observe them. We know how this operates. It's not that difficult to understand. And now we have people who have gone a step beyond the common sense of saying people should have the right to live their life as they want to, which is my argument, into the realm of science fiction. That's what it is. Oh, chromosomes? What are those? They don't exist. There's no such thing as biological sex. Well, yeah, there is. It's pure genetics. It's something, I'm assuming that these people never learned about chromosomes in school. What school did you go to that you never learned about the distinction here? What school did you go to that skipped biology entirely? Did you decide to take some other science instead, and in your school they allowed you to do that? Okay, then maybe you can get a pass, but can you talk to somebody about this and try to spend a week or two learning about chromosomes before you mouth off about something you obviously don't know anything about? So I've archived the article because I don't want to give them any attention. It's through the Wayback Machine. And that's how you should do it. If you have some really torrid site, not like even like CNN or something, okay, who cares? But if you have like an Everyday Feminism, Jezebel article, Salon, something like that, archive it before you share it to other people. That way they're not getting the ad revenue. They're not getting, more views on their statistics because it's an archived version of the page. And it will really strip them of a lot of their leverage in the future. If we want to defeat these people that are way, way out there, they're like a cult or something, that's one way to do it because so much of their traffic comes from the internet anyway. Just archive the pages. It's as simple as that. We can rob them of so much money that they would otherwise get so much ad revenue. So many statistics that they use for their various page rankings on the internet. It's easy. That's how you do it. That's about all. Peace out.